Hello, my name is Randy Ripke. I'm the developer of TASbillerCloud. The following video will help explain features of the program. If you have any questions, please feel free to email or call. I hope you enjoy your use of TASbillerCloud. Hello again, this is Randy Ripke. I'm the developer of TASbillerCloud. Today we're going to be talking about analysis features of TASbillerCloud and how to set up those features. You want to begin by going into File Maintenance and bringing up posting accounts. It's very important that all of your posting accounts are appropriately checked for being included in analysis or not. So all of your regular answering service charges would be included, whereas here's an example of a sales tax which you would not want to include in analysis. Additionally, you may have services such as secure text devices which you have to pay a fee for. So I'm not sure I would include those in your analysis numbers or not. That would be a personal decision. Generally, the profit margin on those should be predetermined and preset. If you're paying your vendor $3 for a secure device license, you should be charging your client probably $6 or $10, and that's your profit margin right there. What we're analyzing here is more toward profitability of customers as they relate to the answering service in terms of revenue per minute. So first thing you want to do is make sure all of your answering service categories are correctly assigned as being included in analysis. We then go back into File Maintenance to Analysis Settings. On this window, we can set up the various items we want to look at when we do our analysis. You see, I have time on here twice. Notice the difference. My billable minutes, I'm using the formula that I use for my posting account for operator time. I bill in 6-second increments. So the formula I have here is how I'm billing my client. So this is a different number of minutes than what these two fields represent. And these are StarTel fields, by the way. These may vary from task system to task system, but in this formula, I'm looking at my billable time based on 6-second rounding. Here I'm looking at the actual time that the operator spent working in the account. So that would be the difference between these two. Additionally, I want to keep track of how much maintenance time is going on, how many messages were taken, inbound and outbound calls, and various transmissions to either email, fax, SMS, and number of patches and the patch durations. The way these reflect in the client maintenance is what I'll show you next. This is the Analysis tab in Customer Maintenance, and you'll see the same items listed here that we just saw in Analysis Settings. And notice my billable minutes equates to $1.46, whereas my actual minutes is generating $1.53. So I'm realizing $1.53 per minute revenue off of this client, although they're being billed at $1.46, the difference being the effect of the 6-second rounding. All of these items listed are also graphed, so I can see their usage changes over the past 3 billing periods. So this client is slowly slowing down the last 2 or 3 billing cycles. Let's go back into Analysis Settings, and let's add another category here for analysis. Let's say I'd like to add a category for transactions, which is frequently used for analysis. So we're going to add a formula. We're going to name it Transactions. And for transactions, I want to include my inbound calls, my outbound calls, my patch calls, the number of times my agent brought up that screen for work activities, same for maintenance, the number of emails that were sent, faxes, number of SMSs. Notice I'm just dragging these fields and dropping them into place, and TASbillerCloud adds the plus sign for me to add all these fields together. And now I've pretty much filled up this visible field, but I need to add a couple more fields. I want to put field 128 in there, so I'm capturing the number of actions. All I have to do is drag and drop it into that field, and if we space over, we can actually see where I added field 128. Well, I want this item to chart. I want to do a dollar per calculation on these. The dollar per calculation would make sense on certain items and wouldn't make sense on others. Dollar per minute, dollar per transaction or dollar per call, dollar per message. These are frequently looked at on a dollar per basis. Dollar per agent work time or maintenance time, for example, wouldn't, or dollar per fax or per SMS. So we're just looking at the overall revenue on a dollar per basis. Now the next thing I want to do is, notice when I added transactions, it went to the top of the column. But I don't want it to be there. I want my operator time and billable minutes to be the first two items. So I can drag this column by clicking here and dragging it down to where I want it to be and change the sequence that these items list when I do my analysis, when I look at my analysis tabs. So I'm going to save these changes. One more important thing when you're first setting up over here, the magic number should be your goal number as far as operator time per minute. My goal is currently $1.60 a minute. I'm just about $1.50 right now, so $1.60 is my goal. I have to choose which of these items represents operator time for analysis. Because this is all user defined, TASbiller doesn't know which of these fields you want to use for your dollar per operator minute analysis. So this drop down includes all of the items listed on the left, and you choose the one that you want to use for your analysis. And for me, I want to look at the past 12 months when I do my various reporting and what have you. So I'm going to save all these changes. One more very valuable feature I'd like to point out are the categories are not necessarily used exclusively for analysis. Our vendors are very good these days about giving us hundreds of fields of billing data from which to choose. However, when the client calls us and asks why their bill is so high, these categories come in very handy when you can tell a client, we received 590 calls. We dispatched 526 messages. We sent out over 1,000 emails, and have some numbers easily available to you versus, although the transaction data is stored in TASbiller, the raw data from the vendor is not very nicely formatted, obviously. It's presented here for billing purposes, but to try to explain to a customer how many calls or how many messages or what have you, all that data is scattered among 100 and some odd fields here. Whereas on your analysis tab, you can create categories so you can better describe what's going on with the account and see the activity charted over here. If the client is, if their usage is going up, if you're receiving more calls, if it's declining, and so forth. So a very handy tool just for day-to-day use of the categories from analysis. And now on our analysis tab, you can see transactions is now added. And it's doing a dollar per transaction calculation. So in this client, I'm making $1.53 per minute, 60 cents per transaction, and $4.18 per message. Choose a recent billing period and go to the Analysis tab. The first thing I see displayed is very similar to the individual customer analysis. But now we're looking at the entire collection of accounts for that billing period. So for all of my customers on billing day, I'm averaging $1.49 per minute. Although I'm only billing at $1.40, I'm realizing $1.49 thanks to the effects of 6-second rounding. My overall average per transaction is 67 cents, and my average revenue per message is $6.12. Again, it's all being charted, so I can see where I was slower these 2 months than picked up during the current billing period. The next tab available to us in analysis is posting account analysis. So this is showing me a breakdown by posting account of where my revenue is coming from. So I can see my largest percentage of revenue is coming from my operator time, which are my overcharges or usage charges, followed by my base charge of answering service. And all of my posting accounts are listed. Finally, on the Business Analysis tab, this is showing me a breakdown by type of account. So I can see which accounts are generating the most revenue per minute, which ones might need an increase. If this category, for example, is generating is 20% of my accounts, but it's only generating 8% of my revenue. Or this category is 15% of my accounts, but is generating 16.8% of my revenue. So you can do some very interesting analysis based on your setup for analysis settings, and be sure you're careful about flagging posting accounts correctly to include an analysis, because the dollars you're looking at here are only the revenue items that you've chosen that are posting accounts flagged as included in analysis. Sales taxes wouldn't be included here, for example. Thank you very much. That concludes analysis for now.